They are angry, demonstrating against ICE last night in Minneapolis after an immigration officer shot and killed a woman in her SUV.
ICE officers and agents approached the vehicle of the individual in question, who was blocking the officers in with her vehicle, and she had been stalking and impeding their work all throughout the day.
DHS Secretary Kristi Noem says that was domestic terrorism.
Agents repeatedly ordered her to get out of the car and to stop obstructing law enforcement, but she refused to obey their commands.
Noem says she weaponized her vehicle and the officer opened fire in self-defense. Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Fry says that is BS, urging ICE to
get the out of Minneapolis. We do not want you here.
The woman who was killed has been identified as Renee Nicole Macklin Good. We know she's 37 years old and recently moved to Minnesota. City and state officials said she was murdered by ICE, calling DHS a propaganda machine, explaining that this woman was just trying to get away and drive away from the scene when she was killed.
Fox's Alexis McAdams in Minneapolis. 2 people are dead in Salt Lake City, Utah, 6 wounded in a shooting last night outside a Mormon church where a memorial service was happening inside. Democrats remain critical of the U.S. operation in Venezuela that captured leader Nicolas Maduro, who's now jailed on narco-terror and drug charges in the U.S. They're pushing a vote today in the Senate on a war powers resolution trying to force President Trump to get authorization for future action in Venezuela. Vice President Vance tells Fox the U.S. has to control the Western Hemisphere.
If we cannot follow the basic principle, which has been a cornerstone of American foreign policy for 200 years, that we control our neighborhood, a lot of bad people are going to take advantage of it.
House Republicans could take a stand against President Trump today in votes attempting to override 2 vetoes of legislation that passed with bipartisan support. One funds a clean water project in Colorado. The other deals with Florida Everglades protection. America's listening to Fox News.
Welcome back to Winter Hack Radio, the place for clever hacks to survive the season. Icy driveway? Well, try spreading sand or birdseed to help with traction. Snowy puppy paws? Well, grab a whisk, brush it off, done. Catch COVID-19? Well, just get...
Actually, there's no hack for COVID-19. But if you test positive, prescription medications for COVID exist. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
The new year means new resolutions, not just for your body, but for your finances as well. Did you know that financial health is directly related to your identity protection? This is why you need LifeLock. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points per second. If your identity is stolen, LifeLock's restoration specialist will fix it, guaranteed, or your subscription money back. Resolve to make your identity, health, and wealth part of your New Year's goals with LifeLock. Visit LifeLock.com and save up to 40% off your first year with the promo code BECK. Terms apply.
Well, Senate Democrats consider that war powers resolution today, trying to limit future Trump military action in Venezuela. The president is making a new push to spend more on the military.
$1.5 trillion in defense spending would allow the U.S. to build a dream military, President Trump says in a Truth Social post. The $1.5 trillion figure is a substantial jump from the nearly $1 trillion approved in current federal spending for the military. President Trump's increased tariff revenue will allow the U.S. to easily hit the $1.5 trillion number while also paying down the debt. Congress is in talks on a series of appropriations bills to fund the government for the next fiscal year. At the White House, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
Nick Reiner has a new lawyer and still hasn't been arraigned in Los Angeles after 2 court appearances on charges that he murdered his parents, famed actor and movie director Rob Reiner and Michelle Reiner. His now ex-lawyer Alan Jackson can't say why he withdrew from the case, but did say,
pursuant to the laws of this state, pursuant to the law in California, Nick Reiner is not guilty of murder.
Now, there's also a man in Wisconsin expected to enter a plea today. He's also accused of killing his mom.
18-year-old Nikita Kasap faces multiple charges, including 2 counts of homicide after investigators say he shot his mother and stepfather in February and lived with their bodies for weeks before fleeing. Kasap is expected to agree to the deal during a morning hearing in Waukesha County Circuit Court in suburban Milwaukee. Authorities say Kasap planned the killings to finance a broader plot to kill the president and overthrow the U.S. government. Ted Lindner, Fox News.
On Wall Street, more selling is in store ahead of new unemployment numbers due out this morning. Dow futures are down nearly 200 points after yesterday's 466-point plunge off of its record high. The Nasdaq, though, had a modest gain yesterday. I'm Dave Anthony. This is Fox News.
Here's a look at local news. Illinois Department of Public Health reporting the first child from Illinois to die from influenza. It brings the number of people to die from the virus in the state to 17. Dashboard shows about 8% of emergency room visits across the state flu-related, compared to 6% this time last year, 5% 2 years ago. Man of Fire reflecting on an eventful 2025 by totaling and breaking down the number of incidents responded to. Firefighters responded to 6,679 calls, the highest since 2019. Nearly 60% of those calls were medical related, making up the majority. Names and addresses of thousands of patients of the Illinois Department of Human Services incorrectly made public, viewable for the last several years. Several maps created to assist the agency with decisions like where to open new offices and allocate certain resources were made public through incorrect privacy settings between 2021 and 2025. You're locally up to date from the Stevie J Broadcasting Newsroom. I'm Jim Miller.
Thank you, Jim. I'm Diane Ducey. Stevie J's got a break right now. He'll be back on Tuesday live in studio, but he might be checking in. He's got that going on with our technology during the break. He might be letting us know what's going on the boat as he enjoys a cruise. Our forecast with Greg Soulier, our meteorologist, brought to you by the Urbana Park District. They've got sign up for summer camps coming up on Saturday, the 7th of February. So just take note of that, and maybe some summer jobs and things like that too. New opportunities for you, maybe a side hustle this summer. Keep that in mind on February 7th. It's urbanaparks.org. Summer-like conditions, Greg Soulier. Man, yesterday afternoon was fabulous.
Yeah, temps soaring into the 50s. Has Stevie won the shuffleboard championship there on the boat yet?
I haven't heard, but I can see him doing that. He gets pretty
yeah,
competitive.
check in with him and see. But I tell you what, we're not far off practically Miami weather relative to early January around here. Already out the door, temperatures into the 40s across much of East Central Illinois. And yeah, you look to that eastern horizon, the high-level clouds, kind of a red sun-up, the old saying, red sky at morning. Sailors take warning, and that means unsettled weather and rains are knocking at the door of Columbia, Jefferson City, southwest of St. Louis. We'll get into a little drizzle here as the mid to late morning wears on, a quick increase in cloud cover, and some areas of patchy fog in some spots, but otherwise it'll be a wind-driven rain that gets going from southwest to northeast over the course of the afternoon. Couple of thunderstorms towards supper time. Wouldn't be surprised we get maybe put into or just remain slightly north of a weather watch later this afternoon for some stronger winds out of some of the storms. Are doing just that down in Oklahoma and Texas and Kansas right now. We'll see high temperatures today, record and near record setting highs between 58 and 62. Our record 65 set at 62 degrees. So we'll be flirting with that with widespread rains, couple of claps of thunder during the course of the afternoon in through the first part of tonight. A break and then new showers after midnight tonight, and a strong wind to boot. South wind 15 to 25 miles per hour today, 30 to 40 mile per hour guess for tonight. Low temperature down near 50. Tomorrow up to about 55, then falling temperatures in the 40s. Maybe a stray shower early and late. Otherwise just a partly sunny, blustery, but still relatively mild January day. 37 tomorrow night. Little secondary piece of this system comes through with variably cloudy skies, a couple of rain, snow showers. 40 Saturday morning, 30s in the afternoon. Highs only at 31 on Sunday with a morning snowflake or two. Low to mid 40s return Monday and Tuesday, but then a more significant pattern shift gets us back into colder, more typical January weather the second half of next week. A couple of snow showers and flurries, and high temperatures just into the low to mid 30s. For CBJ Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Soulier.
Thank you so much, Greg Soulier, with our forecast. And I'm Diane Ducey. It is 7:09. I hope your morning's going well and things are progressing well in your life here in 2026. I've selected a few interviews that I consider a little bit best of. And Stevie, as a grandparent also, his granddaughter, Josephine Gray, will be a year old in February. Of course, you probably heard my daughter Anna and her husband Seth had a baby on December 14th. So little Hudson James is growing, and they're adjusting to the parenting roles there in their home in Homer, and I'm loving it. So thanks to everybody who's reached out saying, isn't it a fun club, especially to those who are friends of mine and already in this chapter of life. But a presentation, not necessarily a baptism at church for Stevie and his family as they gathered around Josephine Gray and supported. So we're going to listen in on that conversation. That happened about a month ago.
We were in Chicago. Our whole family went to Chicago for the dedication of Josephine Gray. Josie Gray is my first granddaughter, and I was very emotional. I just was, and I was trying to figure out why. Well, I've had a stated goal in my life, and very public, I think, but I used to go upstairs for the kids went to bed, and I tell them, I said, listen, if I die tonight and you know the Lord, my life has been successful. Mm-hmm. And I emphasized, Janet and I both emphasized the importance and value of our Christian faith. And so here, you work really, really hard to do the best you can as a parent. You really want to do it. And sometimes it goes wiggly, and it's just all you can do is be as close to your kids as you can. You love them, take them to church, help them have a family and a people that you can depend on and trust.
Community around you, yes.
Yeah, a good circle of people that have your values. Mm-hmm. Well, how does Chick-fil-A do it? They go to the biggest church and hire all the kids.
That's how to recruit.
And that is really, really smart because it really, really works.
Yeah, dedicated. They show up.
So we are in church yesterday, and it's Nathaniel leads the worship, and he's on the guitar, and his voice has gotten so good.
Nice.
Because he sings every week and just loves it.
Aww.
So they get him up there, and they have a big picture of Josie and talking about her and the questions they're asking the family, questions they're asking the congregation, and just to respond to be part of this in faith. And I just thought, you know what? We've tried so hard to instill this faith in our kids, and now it's on to the next generation. It just made me tear up.
I'm starting. Were you ugly crying? Did you have a Kleenex?
No, just tears. Just a little bit of water. Okay. Janet was wiping away her tears too.
Okay.
But it feels like you've made it to the next generation. I don't know if I'll be there for Josie having kids. I hope I am. If I'm still doing CrossFit, maybe. Anyway, it's at some point the reality is, okay, I'm gonna be pretty old when she gets married.
Yeah.
So anyway, it was just a great, satisfying. We feel like, okay, we got her in the faith and knowledge, and it's just so critical. And for those of you still spinning and not sure and doubting and all, I get it. And it's just maybe a moment to kind of scratch that itch and engulf yourself and find somebody you trust and go to church with somebody you really, really respect, and just open it up and learn and just see what happens. Mm-hmm. Because if you see it and you feel it, it's just such a difference in your day to day. And there are people that lived really bad lives and somehow get saved near the end.
Yep.
You're going, well, that doesn't seem fair. Well, it's not about that. It's about when you find out. If you're the thief on the cross with Jesus, and the one guy's criticizing Jesus, and this other guy, and the guy says, remember me. He's been saved.
Yep.
He was in paradise with Christ that night. Mm-hmm. And he missed all those years of being a good person and being somebody that's fulfilled through peace and love and the word of Christ. And it's just
and that main tenet in Christianity of forgiveness, it is so hard sometimes.
It's so hard, and we tend to,
and we hold on to that.
Even as Christians, we look down on others, and like, well, they're
Judgy.
They're not even a Catholic, or they're not even a Lutheran, or they're not even. But God has the Father, Son, Holy Ghost has kind of the plan, and a whole lot of people believe that. And the more you can reach out, share that, show that with the way you live, the better your life's going to be, and the better you're going to feel. I mean, the feeling.
We're all God's children.
And the feeling of how much you volunteer and how good you feel about helping them.
Absolutely.
You help a lot of people, Diane, and I think it's awesome. But the bottom line is it's eye contact is the best advice I can give any parent. And I know how tired you are, and I know how frustrating things can be. And then that happened, and this happened. You can't believe that, and that wasn't fair. I know. But having the faith, it really sustains you.
And there's different ways you can reach out and teach the kids. Aiden got a comic book kind of style Bible the other day.
Yeah.
And that's awesome.
Yep.
To see, Daniel in the lion's den and it drawn out in
you
cartoon
start the process of how you learn that.
Absolutely.
Okay, there you go. Sermon done. We'll be back after the news. I'm Stevie J.
I'm Diane Ducey. And again, a little best of, since Stevie's got a break right now. I've got the sports headlines coming up next here on ESPN 93.5. Maybe you're watching on Twitter, Stevie Jay FM or X. That's our account where you can see the show in action. Later on today, United Way, Beverly Baker will be stopping by to tell us what they're doing here at the beginning of the year to help our community.
Flooring Surfaces is ready for your next renovation. We stock football fields for the flooring in our Champaign warehouse. Porcelain tile with large formats, dozens of options, all in stock, along with Cushion Tech waterproof vinyl, and deals on closeout backsplash tile. And don't forget about premium thin sets, performance grouts, tools, trowels, and adhesives. adhesives. Flooring Surfaces is your local supplier for all kinds of in-stock flooring. See us today at 401 Mercury Drive in Champaign.
Flooring Surfaces, your first stop.
Good morning, First Federal Savings Bank. How may I direct your call?
Speak with friendly, real people during lobby hours. It matters when you call First Federal Savings Bank of Champaign-Urbana. A real person located at the bank. Not a recording answers your call during lobby hours. Personal, friendly service makes a difference. 217-356-BANK.
Thank you for calling. Have a great day.
Rated 5-star superior by Bauer Financial, Inc. Fast, friendly, and local with local loan decisions and underwriting. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender. NMLS 435120.
Thanks, Ata. I hope he does well in this new year with First Federal. I'm Diane Ducey. I always cross paths with him with Developmental Services Center. I believe he's on the board for that. And my son Aiden and my family were part of the Tree of Hope family back in 2006. Tree of Hope campaign to help 1,200 individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities through the end of this month. DSC-Illinois.org, by the way. Well, Shauna Green commenting about the loss yesterday against number 19 Ohio State for women's basketball. The final was 78-69. Here's about a minute from Shauna.
Loved our first half. Thought we came out and really executed on both ends, handled the pressure fine, and so going in feeling good. And then our third quarter just was not obviously up to par. And we held them to only 16, but we only scored 10. So obviously you're not going to beat really many people in our league with that, but just, and then we started fighting in the fourth again. So just too many mistakes. And then obviously credit Jelani. She went off and literally just had no answer for her. I thought at the very end we did a better job down the stretch, kind of limiting. We started hedging our sum and trying to get the ball out of our hands, but she was unbelievable. She literally took them and carried them, and if we could just hold her to 10 less than that, she literally just anything we did found a way to score and hit some really tough shots.
All right, well, unfortunately a loss, but we're 13-3 overall, so still very proud of our Illini women's basketball team. Tonight for the men's side, we've got Rutgers, and we've got comments from Coach Brad Underwood on that competition this evening with the tip-off at 7:30.
Now it's Rutgers, typical Steve Peichel team. Steve's one of my favorite coaches, got tremendous respect for the job he does. Gritty. Fight you, compete. Against Ohio State at 18 offensive rebounds. I think we're second in the country in percentage of their points coming off offensive rebounds. I think they're a team that has continued to get better and improve. Obviously coming off a nice win against Oregon. Getting great play from Francis off the bench. Young man that's averaging, upper 20s here in his last 3 or 4 ball games. But they guard you. They're going to throw a lot at you.
It's going to be tough tonight. As we say, go Illini. We've got your forecast coming up next, brought to you by Busey.
Within the cities we call home, Busey Bank is more than a name. It's a commitment to your dreams. With Busey, trusted guidance is tailored to empower you every step of the way. Whether it's seamlessly managing your finances or planning for your future, Busey is dedicated to your financial success. Busey Bank, building business, growing wealth since 1868. Member FDIC.
Look at everyone. Let's check weather. Free Central Illinois, Champaign-Urbana is Saturday. Wind-blown days worth of weather with record and near record-setting highs of about 60. The record high is 62, set back in 1965. Maybe a little bit of rain and drizzle. Some areas of fog breaking out this morning, and widespread rain spread southwest to northeast over the course of the afternoon. As south wind 15 to 25 miles per hour gusty will hit 30 to 40 mile per hour gusts for tonight, with periods of rain showers, some thunderstorm activity as well, both early and late night tonight. Maybe a couple of stronger storms lurking in parts of the area. Low temperature down near 50. Tomorrow, breezy, much cooler air settles on in. Partly sunny skies develop. An isolated shower in spots early and late. A morning high of 55, falling to about 45 at a west wind, 15 to 25 miles per hour and gusty. Into the 30s tomorrow night, and a couple of showers of mixed rain and snow for the day Saturday. Blustery, turning colder, 43, and falling temperatures. Maybe a snow shower Sunday morning. Partly sunny, breezy, colder at about 31. Back into the low to mid 40s for Monday and Tuesday. Cold air moves back in the mid to late portions of next week. For CVJ Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Solier.
I'm Liz Clayman, and this is the Fox Business Report.
There's another sign surging demand for artificial intelligence isn't cooling yet. Samsung is predicting its operating profit tripled in the recent quarter. It's reporting surging demand for its artificial intelligence chips, which sent prices sharply higher. Though most of Samsung's profits used to come from smartphones, now its semiconductor business accounts for more than half of earnings. Two of the nation's largest real estate brokerages are planning to close their merger on Friday, Compass and Anywhere. Shareholders of both companies voted overwhelmingly to approve the merger during special meetings, and a regulatory waiting period for the merger expired last week. And electricity giant Constellation Energy has closed its deal to buy Calpine. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Jenny Coselda. Invested in you.
The world of business moves fast. Stay on top of it with the Fox Business Rundown every Monday and Friday. Fox Business reporters, anchors, and hosts will bring you beneath the stock market speculation and boardroom drama to tell you about the biggest business stories of today. Whether you're on Main Street or Wall Street, Fox Business is invested in you.
Listen to the Fox Business Rundown every Monday and Friday at foxbusinesspodcasts.com or wherever you download your favorite podcasts.
Here's what somebody recently said at Pards in Urbana. I was there just a few minutes, and somebody came up and asked if I needed help. And they were incredible, helped me find the size of boot I needed, and then I bought a second pair too. Everything was friendly, everything was excellent. Visit Pards in Urbana, 206 North Maple, between Main and University in Urbana. It's Pards Western Shop since 1968. Or go online and visit pards.com, pards.com.
Urbana Park District is hiring. Are you looking for a summer gig or a side hustle? With great jobs as a lifeguard, camp counselor, grounds crew, customer service representative, and other opportunities. Young adults getting a first job to boost their resume. Line up a new gig that's convenient right along the MTD bus line. Learn more about the job openings online at urbanaparks.org. Make some money, serve the community, make connections this summer with the Urbana Park District.
Here's the deal. When you combine State Farm home and auto insurance, you save an average of $889. State Farm agent Kurt Lenschow is ready to help you combine home and auto and save right here in Champaign-Urbana. Call 352-1411 today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Average annual per household savings based on a 2019 national survey by State Farm of new policyholders who reported savings by switching to State Farm.
The great loud venues in college basketball.
Don't miss your chance to cheer on Fighting Illini basketball this season.
Back. This place an absolute powder.
It is. Talk about tough buildings, right?
We need all of Illini Nation to help us defend State Farm Center.
Boswell left hand and one.
Great seat locations are still available for you to see Illinois basketball live this season. Get your tickets today at fightingillini.com.
You have money laying all around your house. You just don't know it. And no, I don't mean selling your great-grandma's good china. I mean all the old metal items you don't want to use or get rid of. Don't pay someone to haul it away. Bring it into Max Twin City Recycling and get paid to have it taken off your hands. They love new customers and are more than willing to walk you through their process step by step. Come check them out at 2808 North Lincoln Avenue in Urbana.
Starting it over is what we do at Max Twin City Recycling.
Hi, I'm Troy Lands from Lands Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Right now at Lands, it's a great time to buy a new Trane heating and cooling system. We are offering special financing or up to $1,500 off any qualifying Trane system. At Lands, we know what it takes to deliver exceptional comfort, and we offer a 100% satisfaction guarantee. So if you are thinking of a new comfort system, now is the time to buy. And remember, it's hard to stop a Trane. I'm Troy Lands. You can count on my company because you can count on me.
Okay. I just found a clip that I thought was interesting, and it's about media and where we stand on the media. But, you know, a lot of us are frustrated with the way stories are handled these days. And as we revisit a conversation, there's a clip of Donald Trump here from 2015. And then Coach Mike Ditka, Stevie J, and his brother Johnny are all commenting on that for a few minutes after that. So I thought this was interesting. We used to visit with Coach Mike Ditka every Friday for, I feel like, decades, from 7:30 to 7:50 back in the day.
At the statistics of people coming. I didn't say about Mexico. I say the illegal immigrants. You look at the statistics on rape, on crime, on everything coming in illegally into this country. They're mind-boggling. If you go to Fusion, you will see a story about 80% of the women coming in. I mean, you have to take a look at these stories. And you know who owns Fusion? Univision. And it was in the Huffington Post. I said, let me get some of these articles because I've heard some horrible things. I deal a lot of talking with people on the Border Patrols.
Yeah.
They're incredible people.
I want to get some.
I want to
get some clarification.
No, but Don, all you have to do is go to Fusion and pick up the stories on rape.
Again, this is from 2015 with Donald Trump.
He said illegal immigrants, some of those coming in have a criminal element. But boy, has he been, people, everybody's dropping at Macy's, NBC. It's unbelievable, the reaction. He's not backing down, Johnny, not at all.
Well, he's not a politician, and I think that's why a lot of people are liking him because he's just not playing it cagily. He's talking like we talk at the water cooler and saying the same things. But you know, it's hysterical, and he's a pretty easy target, Coach. You know, it's easy to bait a guy who's going to stick to his word. And,
it's really a sickening politically correct world because it really, you know, he was not referring to the Mexican people at all. I mean, in being rapist or he said there's an element of crime that comes in illegally. There's no question about that. What he said is true, and that's what hurts the liberal point. They can't stand the truth. I mean, facts are facts. I mean, the guy didn't. I think his popularity is gaining because more people are starting to understand what he said. He was not referring to the immigrants or the Mexicans that come into this country illegally as all being criminals, but he's saying that there's a lot of the criminal element comes from that, whether they be rapists or whether they be robbers or they be killers or whatever they be, and that's all he was saying. So if you can't handle that and you're the media, then you got a problem.
Well, but we have a problem because when anybody wants to talk about problems like that, they get absolutely slaughtered by hysterical media stories.
The liberal media is pathetic.
Yeah. You talk about criminals coming over the border, and there's a lot of them, and then you mention it, and it's like you're some sort of a
racist bigot.
Bigot.
Yeah, right.
It's crazy, and it's so predictable, and yet it seems to have an effect in this particular case. I think it is helping Trump because he's going to be in the top 2 or 3 candidates anyway, and it's all about a media.
Well, it's just with hate crimes. You know, if it's committed by a white person, it's not written up as much as if it's committed by. I mean, if it's committed by a black person, it's not written up as much as it's committed by a white person. But I mean, that's just what it is. You know, and I have no problem with what people do. I'm just saying that. You know, the liberal media is kind of pathetic. I mean, it's kind of humorous when you think about it, and yet, just say this Donald Trump statement. Take that. If Obama would have said that, what would have happened?
Well, that's interesting. The conversations we used to have with Coach Mike Ditka back in the day, and to see how it translates in today's world. We've got the news coming up here on ESPN 93.5. And again, that conversation from 2015 and how frustrated we all are with some of the issues with immigration. And here we had a 37-year-old mother that was shot yesterday up in Minnesota. We're hoping John Decker will have a chance to address some of these issues and what's happening with Venezuela in the latest update. So we'll hope to get to that after the news and weather here on ESPN 93.5. Thanks for making us part of your January 8th.
Parlor Donuts and Stevie J Broadcasting want to send you to the next Fighting Illini home basketball game. Text Illini to 217-359-2255 and you could be on your way to State Farm Center. Stop by Parlor Donuts in the Old Farm Shops on Kirby and Madison Champaign before the game to try their layered donuts, cold brews, blended treats, and more. Text Illini to 217-359-2255 to win tickets with Parlor Donuts and Stevie J Broadcasting.
New year, new you.
I'm Liz Clayman, and this
Junk. Start fresh with 2 men in a junk truck. We'll swoop in like clutter, superheroes, furniture, boxes, appliances, you name it, gone. No stress, no heavy lifting, just more room to breathe. Garage disaster, back bedroom chaos. We've seen it all, and we'll haul it all. So kick off the year with space that feels brand new. Book today at 2meninajuncktruck.com. 2 men in a junk truck. Junk removal made simple and way less awkward than asking your brother-in-law for help.
Fox News, I'm CJ Papa. Protests and anger after an ICE agent fires, killing 37-year-old Renee Good. New York Democratic Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
At the end of the day, what we saw today is a murder. And murders in cold blood need to be prosecuted.
DHS Secretary Kristi Noem.
The ICE officer, fearing for his life and the other officers around him and the safety of the public, fired defensive shots.
White House correspondent Aisha Hasni.
The president, we know, has watched at least one of these videos, and in an interview with the New York Times, he says this, quote, "I want to see nobody get shot. I want to see nobody screaming and trying to run over policemen either. That was a vicious situation that took place."
A manhunt underway in Salt Lake City, Utah, after 2 were killed, at least 6 others wounded in a shooting at a funeral outside a Mormon church. America's listening to Fox News.
Here's a look at local news. A Mattoon woman arrested in 2020 for embezzling thousands from an elderly man has pled guilty. Heidi Wilson, arrested in December of that year, facing charges of financial exploitation. It's a Class 1 felony. At the time, police reported Wilson, a nurse in Sullivan, worked at the same factory as the victim. Urbana's Ward 4 City Council member announcing her resignation during Monday night's meeting. Jaya Colosetti says the difficult decision was made because her family moving out of Ward 4 into Ward 7, which is council member James Quisenberry's ward. Colosetti will serve on the city council for the rest of the month. Carl Health has placed temporary visitor restrictions to limit the spread of respiratory illnesses at each of its facilities, including Carl Broman Medical Center in Normal. Urbana-based healthcare system says the rate of respiratory illness has been increasing across central and southeastern Illinois. You're locally up to date. From the Stevie J Broadcasting Newsroom, I'm Jim Miller.
All right, we'll have a look at the weather forecast from our meteorologist, Greg Soyer, brought to you by Carl. Always looking for good members of the team. If you'd like to be a part of things, all you need to do is go to carl.org/careers.
Hello again, everyone. Let's check weather for Eastern Illinois, Champaign-Urbana vicinity. A March-like feel on increasingly gusty south winds at 15 to 25 miles per hour. Record in near record-setting highs in the upper 50s and lower 60s. The record high 62 set back in 1965. Be a bit of rain and drizzle, some areas of fog for this morning, and widespread rains break out southwest and northeast over the course of the mid and late afternoon. Showers, maybe a thunderstorm early on tonight, and maybe even a stronger storm in spots. More activity of rainfall after midnight tonight. Lows near 50. Tomorrow up to 55. Falling temperatures in the afternoon. On a west wind 15 to 25 miles per hour. And gusty, partly sunny skies develop. Maybe a stray shower early and late. Back to much cooler weather tomorrow night, down to 37. Variably cloudy, windy, turning colder still for the day Saturday. Morning highs in the 40s, into the 30s for the afternoon. A couple of showers of both rain and wet snow. Maybe a snow shower Sunday morning. Partly sunny, breezy, colder at about 31. We bump into the low to mid 40s Monday and Tuesday, fall back into the 30s next Wednesday and Thursday. A couple of snow showers for the second half of next week as well. For CVJ Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Soldier.
John Decker, John Decker, John Decker. I want to talk to John Decker. He is the one we know. I want to talk to John Decker. He's at the White House in press room.
And, of course, little Stevie Somerville.
John Decker, John Decker. I want to talk to John Decker, John
So
Decker.
funny to have a kid putting that as their favorite song on their sheet of paper when it was a question about what are your favorite songs. And actually,
wow.
I
did
have
not know that backstory.
I have a supper club, John, that met yesterday at a restaurant, and one of the people in the supper club, Gary, ended up singing a little bit of John Decker theme when I said,
wow, it's catching on all across the country.
Well,
How about
Happy
that?
New Year to you. How
Happy New Year to
how
you.
was your holidays with Carolyn and everything in your life? Give us an update.
Yeah, all good. You know, we were out in Arizona for some of the holiday, and we were there for Christmas, and we had a lovely time out there. Back in D.C. for New Year's, like we always are, and it's good to be back. And it's been busy. It's been so busy since I got back to Washington D.C. This week's been exceptionally busy. Of course, over the weekend was that military operation in Venezuela. So I worked on Saturday. Was not expecting that, and you know what's happening in Venezuela and other places involved with the Trump administration, obviously keeping me busy as we begin this new year.
Yes, I don't know how you keep up. And like you said, you're barely unpacking your bag and you're hitting the ground running with this Venezuela stuff. And let's see, the U.S. seizes a Russian oil tanker, but they think it's linked to Venezuela. That was one of the updates I saw recently. And, you know, all the post-Maduro oil strategy is also in the headlines. Can you reflect on some of that?
Yeah, sure. So still focus on Venezuela by the administration after that military operation over the weekend. We know earlier this week we saw Nicolas Maduro arraigned in a federal court in Manhattan. He pleaded not guilty. But now the question is, what comes next? What comes next for Venezuela? And I don't know if we have all the answers to that question just yet, you know, because the same people that ran Venezuela, with the exception of Nicolas Maduro, are still in place. Maduro's vice president, Delcy Rodriguez, is now the acting president. And every other person who was helping to run that country still holds their position. So not clear, you know, if regime change was the idea here. It's, I guess you could say, moving the chairs on the deck of the Titanic, so to speak, because the same people are still there. Now, oil obviously is a big focus for the president. The president says that Venezuela's oil will be controlled by the United States indefinitely, and that's unusual to say the least. And we'll see what that looks like. There are no American boots on the ground. No plans to put American boots on the ground. It's hard to run a country when you don't have an American presence actually in that country. So that's why I say we'll have to wait and see how all of this works itself out.
You know, when I've been talking amongst my circle of friends about the whole situation in Venezuela, we need to reflect on the history and how outraged the world has been about how the country has been run in the past, right?
No, you're right. So there's nobody that's shedding a tear over the fact that Nicolas Maduro was removed from power. He was a thug, and he ran his country essentially into the ground, and it's alleged that he also ran an international cartel which brought illegal drugs into the United States. Those are the allegations. So no one's shedding a tear about that, but you know, not that many countries around the world applauding the way this happened, number one. And there are a lot of questions about what comes next for Venezuela, and those questions are being raised by countries in the region, allies of Venezuela, and that's why I say, you know, I think it's going to be months before we see what this action by the U.S. military and the Trump administration means for the U.S. relationship with Venezuela.
Right. And then in the whole scheme of things, our relationships with other countries in NATO or, you know, around the world. I mean, we could pivot to a Greenland conversation now.
Well, yeah, Greenland has been on the president's mind going back to the first term. And now it's on his mind once again. He says he wants Greenland. And the thing of it is that there's actually an agreement that was signed between the United States and the government of Denmark, which controls Greenland, and that was half a century ago, 1951. And that agreement essentially gives carte blanche to the United States to establish
in Greenland as many military installations and military bases as the U.S. wants. You know, in World War II, the U.S. had dozens of bases and installations on the island of Greenland, the world's largest island, but we shut them all down. I think that was a mistake. You know, that was during the Cold War, big mistake. Now the president wants to reestablish that, and I think that Greenland actually, as well as Denmark, has no problem with that. It's just the manner in which this is all going about. You know, I think that it's a lot of its tone, and the president has had some harsh rhetoric as it relates to Greenland, and that's rubbed Denmark, which controls that island, the wrong way.
I guess because you're, a reporter, I shouldn't ask your opinion about all of this. It just, I guess the young people in my life are saying, why are we doing all of this? Why don't we just take care of everything in our own borders and try to, rein in our problems here in America?
Well, that idea that was expressed to you is an idea that's been expressed in many public opinion polls. Here we are, we're in a midterm election year, and, the focus typically for administrations in a midterm election year is to turn attention back home, domestic issues. And we'll see. I mean, Republicans hold a very razor-thin majority in the House of Representatives. The president spoke to the House GOP earlier this week. He recognizes how important this election is for Republicans. If they lose control of the House, the president, his agenda goes away because it's divided Congress. And the president actually said to those House Republicans, if we lose the House, they're going to impeach me. And I have to tell you, Diane, I think he's right. I think that if the House is taken over by Democrats, I'm just speaking objectively here, I think that one of the objectives will be is to impeach President Trump. Now, there are not enough votes in the Senate to remove him from office, but they'll go through that exercise, I have no doubt.
Right. Well, thank you for those reflections. I'm visiting with John Decker. Stevie's on vacation, although he has texted that he checked in from Barbados yesterday, John. So he is enjoying. Yes, exactly. It was 83 degrees for him, and here
killing me.
Exactly. So in any case, it's nice to, of course, get your updates, and we enjoy that on Thursday. So many people enjoy this segment between 7:30 and 7:50. A more serious story that's surfacing. A federal official fatally shot a woman that Immigration and Customs Enforcement said she was trying to run over the agent on Wednesday. Through Minneapolis police reported she was attempting to drive away from the scene of protests. We're learning more now about 37-year-old mother identified as Renee Nicole Good, and a local media described her as a constitutional observer. Your reflections on this top trending story in America?
Well, I've watched the video like everybody else, and the problem with the video, Diane, is that the video begins at a certain point. And, I think that it's really important to get a full understanding of the videos to see what was happening 5 minutes before, 10 minutes before this video took place, to see how that car ended up in that place when the video begins. So I don't think it's fair to point fingers one way or the other at this point without getting that kind of information, and hopefully there's video of that. So all of the entities that need to do an investigation can have that information and make a fair assessment in terms of what happened yesterday. But it's tragic. Anytime you see someone lose their life, it's tragic. And, look, we'll see how this investigation proceeds.
Stevie is joining us now. How are you, Stevie?
Get out. Hey, Stevie.
I'm fine. How are you, John? How are you, Diane?
Good.
Do you call it switchbacks?
Well, we're here in You betcha, St. Lucia is where we're in. I'm in a van right now. We're headed to climb the Tetons. So they're called Pitons. They've been around a long time. There's a tall one and a smaller one, nothing too heavy. So we're going to do that and maybe get into a waterfall and a mud bath. So we're just exploring today. But to the news of the day where you were just talking about, John, yeah, tragedy last night, but again, sorting to the truth is where we are. But I think it exemplifies what happens when you just don't listen to law enforcement. Something might happen if you don't do that. That was my first inclination to say, I don't know, you got to sort it all out. As you said, get all the camera views, everything you have. Was it unnecessary? I don't know. I don't know where the operation was. If she was going to use car to ram some law enforcement, you don't know what they're going to do with the big Honda Pilot or whatever that was. In any event, it's tragic. It's too bad. But man, we got to learn that when an officer says something like "get out of the car," you got to do it, John. I don't know. And then I don't trust anything about she was murdered when you think back to Ferguson about, hands up, don't shoot stuff, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things that certainly has galvanized certain folks in Minneapolis. It seems like they're the focus of so many protests over the years. George Floyd protest, of course, that happened several years ago, right before during the pandemic. In any case, it's something that is the top story now, Stevie. You're in St. Lucia. It's the top story. Both national and local news all across the country.
But isn't it critical to actually know what's happened? For them to suggest that she was just murdered and she did nothing isn't accurate, but yet that seems to be the quick narrative. And you got to make sure that you have proper information.
That's exactly right. That's what I was just telling Diane before you got on the line, is we don't have the full picture. And the full picture is the full video that goes back, beyond where that video that we saw starts, to get a sense about what was happening at that moment in time. And my initial reaction, I was watching it as it all played out, Stevie, at the White House, and what I said to a colleague, and also next to us was a Secret Service person, and I said, we need the audio. It's not just enough to have the video. You need the audio to know what was said and the way that woman responded to what was said to her.
So we're gonna stop here? I actually see a story here. It says on a UPI story that Trump said the woman was screaming, obviously a professional agitator, and the woman was driving the car very disorderly, obstructing and resisting, who then violently and willfully and viciously ran over the ICE officer who seems to have shot her in self-defense. Now, we know how Trump responds to these things, but you really do have to step back and say what happened.
Yeah,
well,
that's
I
exactly
heard an
right.
audio that said, "Get out of the." I heard them say, "Get out." And again, people that generally get in trouble don't follow what they ask them to do, and you're supposed to. So from that standpoint, again, sort it out, figure it out. It's sad it happened, but boy, with these protests and what the mayor said, I don't think was inappropriate either. I don't know. I just, again, these things, you get around these situations, it can get out of hand.
It's almost hard to focus on this heavy story with the reggae music in the background, Stevie.
I agree completely. I'm imagining Stevie there about to, do some sort of limbo or something.
And there you just clipped out.
We're on top of a mountain taking a picture. I just wanted to chime in.
Sure
I'll let you guys continue. You're going to talk Venezuela as well?
Yeah, we already hit that topic.
You're going to talk a little Venezuela?
Yeah, we already hit that topic.
Well, okay, then talk about John's most famous vacation spots. This is beautiful. I'm looking at least 2,000 feet up at two big cruise ships that came into port. How these guys park these ships is beyond me.
That's unbelievable.
It is unbelievable how tight this port is. Unbelievable. I mean, I can't park a little boat. It's hard. The wind is blowing. It's just not easy. But it's a gorgeous view.
Stevie,
and I'm glad I could at least touch base. And thank you for calling in, John, because people need to know that you can always get the update with your briefing, correct?
Yeah, that's right. The White House briefing room every day, wherever you get your podcast. Thanks for telling everybody about that. You can get it all in less than 15 minutes. Everything from, an insider at the White House, always fair, objective, balanced. And I think that's what so many people want with their news. And I know you like that, Stevie.
Yeah. Hey, listen, I'll sign off. Thank you, John, Diane. Continue, please, and thank you for being on, John.
All right,
Decker. Thank you,
take
Diane.
care. All right.
Of course.
There's Stevie again on vacation.
Yeah, that was nice of him to call in, right? That's pretty great.
But again, with the reggae
and lucky
music,
him, and here we are, Diane. We're in the, I know I'm speaking for what the weather's like in Champaign. It's the same thing here, very cold, and he's there, in shorts and some Hawaiian shirt.
on the top of
lucky,
some mountain.
Stevie.
Exactly.
Yeah,
it's actually pretty mild, cloudy, and 43, and we're expecting a high of 62 today, which is unheard of for January 8th. So
really nice. Okay.
So
right.
Let's see.
I'll take that.
Let's talk about some highlights you have coming up in 2026. I know you're an avid tennis fan and even on some distinguished boards when it comes to the tennis associations. Are you going to be going to some big tennis tournaments?
Yeah, I'll be at Roland Garros, the French Open, and that's something every year. This will, I think, will be the 23rd year. I'll be covering that. Looking forward to that. The U.S. Open, of course, which is late August, early September. There's a tournament here in Washington, D.C., and we'll see what else, maybe even the tournament in Miami as well. So looking forward to that. As far as work with the president is concerned, I'm going to be traveling to China in April with the president. He's meeting with President Xi, and likely also traveling to Turkey for the NATO summit. That will be in the early part of July. So busy year on tap. Looking forward to that. It's good to be at home after being in Phoenix, Arizona for the holidays. But it's been busy so far. It's been a busy week.
Well, we sure appreciate your insight. Again, we can tap into it ourselves. John is spelled without the H when it comes to John Decker. And your podcast is the White House Briefing Room, right?
That is correct. You can get it on iHeart, on Pandora, on Apple, on Spotify, wherever you get your podcast. And I appreciate that promotion. That's very kind of you. And I trust you. If you listen to it and you like what I do with Stevie every week, you'll love this podcast as well.
That's right. All right. All the best in 2026. John Decker with Great Television. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Diane. Have a good one.
Bye now. All right, we'll have the forecast coming up next here on ESPN 93.5, and it is brought to you by Watts Copy Systems. If you need something done, you need a consultation, they can do that. They can even just do a quick assessment for free. Watts Copy Systems. Just look them up online and have them assess what's happening in your office or business. Here's Greg Solier.
Look at everyone. Let's check weather. Free Central Illinois, Champaign-Urbana vicinity. Wind-blown days worth of weather with record and near-record-setting highs of about 60. The record high is 62, set back in 1965. Maybe a little bit of rain and drizzle. Some areas of fog breaking out this morning, and widespread rain spread southwest to northeast over the course of the afternoon. As south wind 15 to 25 miles per hour gusty will hit 30 to 40 mile per hour gusts for tonight, with periods of rain showers, some thunderstorm activity as well, both early and late night tonight. Maybe a couple of stronger storms lurking in parts of the area. Low temperature down near 50. Tomorrow, breezy, much cooler air settles on in. Partly sunny skies develop. An isolated shower in spots early and late. A morning high of 55, falling to about 45 at a west wind, 15 to 25 miles per hour gusty. Into the 30s tomorrow night, and a couple of showers of mixed rain and snow for the day Saturday. Blustery, turning colder, 43, and falling temperatures. Maybe a snow shower Sunday morning. Partly sunny, breezy, colder at about 31. Back into the low to mid 40s for Monday and Tuesday. Cold air moves back in the mid to late portions of next week. For CVJ Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Solier.
Jets Pizza and Stevie J Broadcasting want to send you to the next Fighting Illini home basketball game. Text Illini to 217-359-2255 and you could be on your way to State Farm Center. Stop by Jets Pizza at Neal and Green Street or Round Barn off Springfield and Mattis for their delicious Detroit-style pizza. Text Illini to 217-359-2255 to win tickets from Jets Pizza and Stevie J Broadcasting.
Okay.
You're great, Tim. You're great to have on. We love what you do. You're very talented as a manager taking care of Gelferix and dedicated diesel, but I'm impressed how much energy you have for all that.
We're just honored to be able to wear the GFT logo and do that, and the people at Dedicated Diesel do a great job. Everybody needs to get over there and get those awesome, like new used mowers bought up and get out of there so we have room for some new ones. 217-328-0562, give you a great deal and get those things going.
And where's that located?
But that's at 1313 Triumph Drive in Urbana. We've got a wonderful crew, and at the end of the year here, I just want to thank all of our drivers, customers, and employees. We have the best guy to work for in Gale Prairie's. You all and your families have a Happy New Year, and I'll talk to you next year.
Thank you, Tim. Tim Onstop, Pitmaster Extraordinaire, Gale Prairie's Trucking, and Dedicated Diesel.
We'll be hearing from Tim later today. He comes in on Thursdays after 8:30, gives us some Pitmaster tips, and it'll be good to update that message since now we're well into the new year here on January 8th, and I hope the day is going well. We typically do a little spotlight with Nathaniel's son, and I do have a segment from the past to spotlight now with Stevie J.
It's called Did You Know? My son Nathaniel's son, so that you know that he's my son, but last week we learned that it was a sign of respect in Japanese to say somebody then son, correct? S-A-N, Nathaniel, is that right?
That's right. That's it. Yeah, so Dad, son, thanks for having me on.
Nathaniel's son in Chicago does a Did You Know segment that perplexes and intrigues us every single week at this time. So this week, what do you got?
Well, this morning we're going to talk about something that really is embedded itself in our daily lives. And if you're anything like me, you've wondered what Visa and MasterCard or Discover or American Express, what those designations on your credit and debit cards actually mean. And after all, a credit card might be issued by someone like Chase Bank or Busey, but it's still a Visa. Well, it turns out that those four groups and those designations are not really banks, but rather they're simply card networks that work with banks and make transaction or swipe fees. Now, this all started in the late 50s when Bank of America launched their first credit card. The concept of purchasing items on credit was relatively new, but it was a thing in the 50s where individuals could hold lines of credit with various merchants. And Dad, I know this probably would have been, my grandparents could have done this, where imagine you have a credit account with someone like County Market, Sears, Home Depot, and a gas station, and every month you have to make payments. But it was a lot to manage. So financial institutions and banks wanted to capitalize and make a one-stop shop credit card, which basically transferred the credit burden from merchants to banks. And as this concept took off, more banks wanted in on the system, and so Visa evolved to be the middleman that it is. And American Express rolled out a similar first charge card in the late 50s, early 60s. MasterCard was formed in 1966 and Discover in 85, all attempting to compete in that same space and make those transaction fees. And believe it or not, in 2018, in the United States, about $97 trillion were transacted through either debit or credit cards facilitated by these four networks.
Unbelievable. And whose idea was to charge 30%? That was brilliant. Some of these cards charge a lot of interest on top of everything. I don't think Bob down at Sears would have charged me that kind of interest, huh?
No, that's exactly right. So really, it makes sense why everyone jumped into this system.
Oh, yeah. So really, the banks are kind of a front for the whole system. So, yeah. Interesting. Never heard of that. Nathaniel's son on credit cards and how it happened. A sign of respect, Nathaniel's son. Well done. Always a pleasure, Nathaniel. Thanks so much.
All right. Take care.
ESPN 93.5. It's 7:58.
Want unbeatable prices on your next furniture purchase, but also seeking that local hometown feel? Look no further than Kelsey Furniture in Tuscola. Customers rave about their friendly, established staff, as well as their great selection, amazing prices, and second-to-none delivery service. They're a third-generation local business, and they've always got your best interests at heart. Find the look you love for less. Open 9 to 5 Monday through Saturday, but always available online at kelseyfurniture.com. That's kelseyfurniture.com.
In 1925, Bud and B. Reichert founded a small plumbing business in Urbana. Today, nearly 100 years later, A&R Mechanical is still thriving. A&R Mechanical believes in designing, building, and maintaining As one of the largest and most innovative contractors in the Midwest, their team creates and sustains essential facility systems for iconic structures like the State Farm Center, the Memorial Stadium expansion, the Ubben Basketball Complex, the Smith Football Performance Center, along with baseball, softball, and the Demersion Indoor Golf Facility. I'm Jay Lehman, former Fighting Illini All-American linebacker. As a longtime Champaign-Urbana resident, I can assure you that A&R Mechanical and their contributions have been a cornerstone to this community. Congratulations, A&R Mechanical, on 100 years of dedication, innovation, and community spirit. Design, build, maintain. It's what they've done for nearly 100 years and what they'll continue to do for the next 100 years. A&R Mechanical, celebrating a century of excellence and service. Visit ar-mech.com for more details.
The Cardinals Caravan, presented by Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance, is rolling into Champaign on Friday, January 16th. This free event gets fans up close with current players, alumni, and broadcasters. Plus, we have great raffle prizes and autographs for the kids. Fans 16 and older will receive 2 free tickets to catch a game at Busch Stadium. For full details, visit cardinals.com/caravan.
Join our Stevie J broadcast team Friday, January 16th, with doors opening at 11 a.m. at Hilton Garden Inn, 1501 South Neal Street in Champaign.
WSJK, Tuscola, Champaign-Urbana.
Different videos, different angles, different viewpoints. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News, on what happened in Minneapolis when an immigration officer shot and killed a woman, a citizen, in her SUV.
This officer not only needs to be fired and suspended, but based on the video, he needs to be charged with murder.
That's Congressman Dan Goldman. Minneapolis' Mayor Jacob Fry, also a Democrat, is urging ICE to get the bleep out of his city. President Trump also watched at least one of the videos, and Fox's Aisha Hasni reports from the White House.
He is saying that it seems the officer shot the woman in self-defense, and in an interview with the New York Times as well, he says this, quote, "I want to see nobody get shot. I want to see nobody screaming and trying to run over policemen either. That was a vicious situation that took place." His Homeland Security Secretary, Kristi Noem, says that this was an act of domestic terrorism.
Noem says the woman shot, Renee Good, had stalked agents, refused to comply with orders, and drove toward the officer. There's a manhunt in Salt Lake City, Utah, for the gunman who opened fire last night outside a church, where inside this man says there was a viewing for his cousin.
That passed away just a couple of days ago, and tragic happened. 4 of my other cousins got shot.
There were 8 people shot in all. 2 died, 3 are in critical condition. Days after the U.S. operation in Venezuela capturing Nicolas Maduro, the leader, there's a vote in the Senate on a war powers resolution pushed by Democrats trying to limit future military action there. Tomorrow, President Trump plans to meet with oil company executives discussing building production back up in Venezuela. Energy Secretary Chris Wright just told Fox Business it's not just the companies helping.
The interim authorities in Venezuela, they're very interested in how they can get their oil industry back going forward again, not only to stabilize and grow production, but to get the corruption out of it.
A spacewalk's been canceled today because an astronaut at the International Space Station suffered what NASA's calling a medical emergency. America's listening to Fox News.
Welcome back to Winter Hack Radio, the place for clever hacks to survive the season. Icy driveway? Well, try spreading sand or birdseed to help with traction. Snowy puppy paws? Well, grab a whisk, brush it off, done. Catch COVID-19? Well, just get...
Actually, there's no hack for COVID-19. But if you test positive, prescription medications for COVID exist. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
The new year means new resolutions, not just for your body, but for your finances as well. Did you know that financial health is directly related to your identity protection? This is why you need LifeLock. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points per second. If your identity is stolen, LifeLock's restoration specialist will fix it, guaranteed, or your subscription money back. Resolve to make your identity, health, and wealth part of your New Year's goals with LifeLock. Visit LifeLock.com and save up to 40% off your first year with the promo code BECK. Terms apply.
Well, this is rare. House Republicans may go against President Trump today in 2 votes to override the first 2 vetoes of his second term. Both bills the president refused to sign passed with so much bipartisan support it was by voice, not recorded vote. One funds a clean water project in Colorado. The other involves Florida Everglades protection. A few other GOP lawmakers are going against the president on a controversial health care issue.
9 Republicans voted with Democrats on a procedural motion for a 3-year extension of the Affordable Care Act tax credits. The House will now tee up a vote today on the plan. Republican Congressman Mike Lawler supported the move and slammed both parties.
All of this could have been avoided if we could have put a bipartisan compromise bill on the floor.
While it's likely to pass, it stands little chance of getting 60 votes in the Senate. But Lawler hopes a compromise is possible, as bipartisan talks are still happening on the COVID-era subsidies that impact over 20 million Americans. On Capitol Hill, Ryan Schmelz, Fox News.
President Trump has already put foreign funding under scrutiny, scaling some of that spending back, and now he's taking more action that will affect the UN.
The U.S. is leaving and withdrawing funding from 66 global organizations, 31 affiliated with the United Nations, including the Framework Convention on Climate Change. A statement from Secretary of State Rubio says the Trump administration has found these institutions to be redundant in their scope, mismanaged, unnecessary, wasteful, poorly run, captured by the interest of actors advancing their own agendas contrary to our own, or a threat to our nation's sovereignty, freedoms, and general prosperity. Chris Foster, Fox News.
We have a new unemployment update. First-time jobless claims rose by 8,000 last week to 208,000. And the number of Americans continuing to collect jobless benefits increased by 56,000 to 1.91 million. On Wall Street, stock futures are falling the morning after the Dow plunged off a record high. I'm Dave Anthony, and this is Fox News.
Here's a look at local news. Names and addresses of thousands of patients of the Illinois Department of Human Services incorrectly made public, viewable for the last several years. Several maps created to assist the agency with decisions like where to open new offices and allocate certain resources were made public through incorrect privacy settings between 2021 and 2025. Illinois Department of Public Health reporting the first child from Illinois to die from influenza. It brings the number of people to die from the virus in the state to 17. Dashboard shows about 8% of emergency room visits across the state flu-related, compared to 6% this time last year, 5% 2 years ago. Man of Fire reflecting on an eventful 2025 by totaling and breaking down the number of incidents responded to. Firefighters responded to 6,679 calls, the highest since 2019. Nearly 60% of those calls were medical-related, making up the majority. You're locally up to date from the Stevie J Broadcasting Newsroom. I'm Jim Miller.
I'm Diane Ducey. Stevie J on a well-deserved break and vacationing. Actually checked in during our John Decker segment about a half hour ago, and now is at the top of the mountain and has sent me a picture which is terrific. In St. Lucia, I believe is where he said, climbing a mountain and enjoying some vacation time. Greg, are you on with me?
I am connected here, Diane.
We've got some milder conditions, but it seems like things are going to be pivoting and changing a bit for us. And into the weekend, and actually later today, we should see some precipitation. I'm looking forward to hearing all the details. Brought to you by Fisher National Bank. If you're dreaming of a new home or thinking of ways to make your home all it can be, dream no more. Fisher National Bank works every day to help turn dreams into a reality and welcome you home. Fisher National Bank, exceptional communities, exceptional people, equal housing lender, member FDIC. Just hit them up on their website. All right, how are things looking?
Well, Diane, nice mild morning, well-stated terminology. Yeah, things are going to be pivoting into more or less a little more typical, briefly, January feel, and then we'll get another pivoting in the atmosphere at some point mid to late next week. That should usher in a more steadfast return to more typical January temperatures and weather. But on the flip side, positive side, the glass is half full perspective, not much frost or freeze to the ground, and the backyard, back 40 and all that'll get soft and muddy with anywhere between 3/4 and a bucket a quarter worth of rain here in January, and we're talking drought, at least some degree of drought relief with that aforementioned rain system, which will be preceded by a quick increase in cloud cover. Temperatures already to the 40s, increasing south wind. The cloud deck will lower quickly during the mid-morning. We get a few spits and spots of drizzle. Then during the course of the middle to late afternoon in particular, after about 2 o'clock or so, rains will pick up, and they'll do just that through the rest of the afternoon, first part of tonight, towards supper time, a little beyond, maybe even a thunderstorm or two, maybe with an additional rush of wind and a healthier downpour, we might be pretty close to a weather watch here or south from here. High temperature for the day today, right around 60. Some spots could make 62. That would at least tie the record set back in 1965. The south wind 15 to 25, will gust 30 to 45 for tonight. Showers, maybe a rumble of thunder early and showered after midnight. Lows down to about 50. Tomorrow up to 50 to 55 in the morning, and then falling back into the 40s, so at least cooler, but a windblown day's worth of weather. A lot of dry hours as well, with some sun and maybe a stray shower early and late. That shower chance for Saturday includes some wet snow late morning, late afternoon, 40s in the morning, 30s in the afternoon. We'll hold up near 31 with a few morning snowflakes on Sunday. Briefly back into the 40s Monday and Tuesday, but a healthy wind, and another system or two pivots in here for Wednesday. And again, Friday next week, couple of snow showers and flurries, and we're back down to more typical January levels on temperatures into the low to mid 30s. For CVJ Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Solier.
Hi, I'm Stevie J. We welcome St. Joe Ogden FFA members about their dinner auction coming up February 7. Morgan Holes is the vice president. Leah Pruitt is a reporter. Delaney Nicolni is the president, and Henry McCannon, media relations. Let's start with the president, Delaney. So tell me about this wonderful night, and why are you in FFA?
Well, we have our auction. It is our biggest fundraiser the entire year. It's actually our only fundraiser, so that's why it's super important. And I'm an FFA not only because my mom is the advisor, but I've realized that it has so many wonderful opportunities I could take. It's shown me all my different career paths, from doing ag business to working in food science. Like ag has so much of a big range, and I've really approached that through FFA.
Morgan Holes, why are you in FFA?
I'm an FFA mostly for the leadership portion of it. I learned so many leadership skills through FFA and through all the activities I get to participate in, and it helps me prepare for my career goals. So it just teaches you so many different things in all aspects of the ag industry, and there's just so many different sectors of that. So it just really helps you prepare for your future.
Leah, talk to me. You're a reporter in media relations, Leah Pruitt. So why are you involved?
I'm an FFA because we get so many opportunities throughout FFA, not only just scholarships, but meeting so many different people from different areas of the United States and in our state. So it's just a big opportunity to not only meet new people, but just to grow your leadership and figure out what you want to do for the rest of your life in ag.
Lee, I know your big brother Cole has been in the studio before, and oftentimes we've talked about that big convention in Indianapolis. Have you had a good time there before?
Yeah, we just went a couple weeks ago, and we all had a great time.
It's awesome.
And we met so many new people. It was a great time.
And Henry McCannon, who's in media relations, a committee member here as well from St. Joe Ogden FFA. What's the draw for you, Henry?
Well, a lot of the main points have already been said, but I will say that I'm in FFA not only because of the people, the experiences, but just the organization as a whole has so much to provide for people throughout the United States and maybe even other countries if they have FFA. And it's really just providing so many amazing experiences.
You guys sound great on the radio. You're really comfortable. Delaney, let me get back to you. Why don't it used to be Future Farmers of America, but it's not the same. It's just FFA. It doesn't stand for anything?
So FFA, the actual acronym is still Future Farmers of America, but as a whole, it's technically the National FFA organization.
Okay.
They did that because ag isn't just farming anymore. That back when it was created, it was simply just farming, but now it is so much more. It's working in businesses, selling items, marketing things. Like, it is not just farmers, hence why the acronym FFA is still used because it's so popular.
Sure.
But we are the National FFA organization.
And Morgan, do you live on a farm? Does anybody live on a farm?
Yeah, I do actually. I grew up on a corn and soybean farm.
You have any animals?
I do. I show cattle.
Okay. Does everybody kind of do that? Involve 4-H, stuff like that? I mean,
not everyone.
Because
no.
you're all pretty together, but if you raise cattle,
yeah, so
you don't just get that in a little car. You have to get a massive truck and stuff.
Yeah, you do.
A kind of a trailer and all of that. And do these cows, they got personalities? Do cows have personalities?
They definitely do.
They
all
recognize
have their own
you? Do they know you?
They do. They love when I come to feed them.
Well, that probably makes some sense. That's fun. And then, Leah, why, again, this connection? This is a foundation you all share. I can see it and feel it, of responsible, just good kids, go to school, get good grades, all that. Am I right?
Yes. Yep. Most of us are all good, and we all are a family in our chapter. We all know each other. We've all grown up with each other.
It's all been a great experience, and we really recommend joining our chapter because we're all just family.
Good
we all get
kids.
to know each
Really
other.
good.
It's a big community at SJO, and this event on February 7th is huge. I've been before. The dinner is awesome. You guys don't even charge, and people just show up. So
It's a meal.
It's a meal.
And I don't pay?
And the auction is fantastic.
But I can eat for free?
Pretty much.
Don't you have to pay to come?
You do not.
No.
Well, let's tell everybody this.
I know. But
hey-
when you come in, you're winding through probably hundreds of auction items.
There's a lot there, silent and live. Henry, is it a silent auction? Is it a live auction? That kind of stuff?
Yeah, so both the silent and live auction are amazing events that I highly recommend everybody attends. There's something for everybody. We have so many different items each year. It's brand new experience every single year, and that is exactly why our community members keep showing up every single
That's
year.
awesome. Delaney, what kind of items? Anything to spotlight?
So on our live auction currently, we're gonna have these beautiful stained glass windows. An FFA member in our community, her grandma hand makes these, and we've already gotten some pictures, and they're gonna be pretty good this year.
awesome.
We have 25 pounds of beef. We have gift cards ranging from $100 to Dutch Valley Meats to a 1-hour massage from Aaron Warren's. We also have various bags of corn seed and some miscellaneous items like a toy tractor set and a Spartan blanket.
So tons of fun. And so we want people to come to the SJO FFA dinner auction on February 7. Morgan, you know how we can get information? You have a website or something we can go to?
Yeah, so we do. You can follow us on Facebook at SJO, or I guess St. Joseph Ogden FFA, and you can look at all of our items on there. We'll be posting them as the time comes up. So we'll have lots of things so you can kind of scope out what you want before you get there.
Leah, what year are you in school?
I'm a sophomore.
And then what? You're just going to keep going to the FFA?
Yep, I'm
and
gonna keep-
What, do you have any idea what you want to do after this? After high school?
I want to somewhat minor in ag and keep with my family in farming and try to stay with my family when they farm and my grandma's farm, just keep that going.
Yeah, it's awesome. And Henry, people need to find out about this and support you guys. If they can't come, they can still write a check, right?
Yes, absolutely. If you are looking to do that, if you own a business, feel free to get in contact with us and we can help work that situation out. We can look how much money you want to donate, or if you want to donate gift baskets, feel free to. Just feel free to reach out to our website. And
Delaney, we're 4 for 4. You're all 4 great kids. Your parents and family should be very proud of Delaney Nicolny, Henry McCannon, Leah Pruitt, and Morgan Holes. St. Joe Ogden FFA dinner auction, February 7. Be there. Support these kids. They're doing a great job. Here we are on ESPN 93.5. Thank you all for being here.
Thank you.
I'm proud to be supporting the SJO FFA for that big event on February 7th. I was glad we were able to get the kids during their break and pre-record that interview, and Stevie's on vacation now. ESPN 93.5, I've got your sports headlines coming up. I want to remind you, if you're in a moving out state of mind here in 2026, you might want to reach out to Nate Evans of the Nate Evans Group with eXp Realty. He can get you that immediate cash offer on your home. There's flexible fees. Why not sell your home for the most money possible? If you'd like to find out the current value of your home in minutes, you can visit nateevansgroup.com and click on the home estimate button and enter your address and get your answer. Maybe you'll be like Doug, who had big plans for his family. They were ready to buy a new home, but also needed to sell their current one fast. So why not contact the experts who had a 5-star review from Doug after they learned that Nate had just worked tirelessly and was very professional and very responsive. The transaction was very smooth. So they were able to purchase their dream home and sell their existing one in under a week. So make it a stress-free experience and work with the Nate Evans Group with eXp Realty. You can call the only agent I would call if I needed to sell my home. It's Nate Evans at 217-239-7113, or do an online search to Nate Evans Group and start packing.
Sell your home with Nate. Pick the price, pick the day. Go to the NateEvansGroup.com.
Drive in, drive out. Recycling's what Max is all about. You can make some cash and do your share. We make it really simple because we care. It Doesn't matter large or small, our friendly staff will handle it all. Starting it over is what we do at Max Twin City Recycling.
All right, when it comes to sports headlines, Shauna Green's team, the women's basketball team, did lose to number 19 Ohio State yesterday. 78-69 was the final, but still at 13-3 overall, we're real proud of what she's doing. We have our number 16 Illinois men's team in action against Rutgers at 7:30 tonight. So all the best and go Illini. Of course, you can ride that free Illini shuttle from Pia's that leaves a half hour before tip-off. You can get there and have a Slugger Burger, and the drink specials are always terrific, so enjoy. Pia's 1609 West Springfield Avenue, bringing on our forecast and saying go Illini. It's Greg Soye on this mild morning with more details of what's going on.
Logan, everyone, let's check weather for Central Illinois. Champaign-Urbana vicinity, a March-like feel on increasingly gusty south winds of 15 to 25 miles per hour. Record and near record-setting highs in the upper 50s and lower 60s. The record high 62 set back in 1965. Be a bit of rain and drizzle, some areas of fog for this morning, and widespread rains break out southwest to northeast over the course of the mid and late afternoon. Showers, maybe a thunderstorm early on tonight, and maybe even a stronger storm in spots. More activity of rainfall after midnight tonight, lows near 50. Tomorrow up to 55. Falling temperatures in the afternoon on a west wind 15 to 25 miles per hour. Gusty, partly sunny skies develop. Maybe a stray shower early and late. Back to much cooler weather tomorrow night, down to 37. Variably cloudy, windy, turning colder still for the day Saturday. Morning highs in the 40s, into the 30s for the afternoon. A couple of showers of both rain and wet snow. Maybe a snow shower Sunday morning, partly sunny, breezy, colder at about 31. We bump into the low to mid 40s Monday and Tuesday. Fall back into the 30s next Wednesday and Thursday. A couple of snow showers for the second half of next week as well. For CVJ Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Soldier.
I'm Charles Payne, and this is the Fox Business Report.
More people signed up for unemployment benefits in the week ending January 3rd, 208,000. Though the increase of 8,000 is modest and below what economists were predicting, the number of those remaining on benefits continuing claims also rose in the week ending December 27th to 1.91 million. The monthly employment report is released Friday morning. Weaker oil prices are good for consumers, but not oil profits. Shell is warning that a weak oil trading performance will drag on its earnings. Shares of beer giant Constellation brands are higher. The maker of Corona and Modelo beers reported better than expected sales and earnings for the recent quarter. Constellation shares are up 2.5%. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Jenny Coselda. Invested in you.
Every hour of every day, Fox News Radio is there with the latest breaking news and information you rely on.
This is a Fox News Alert.
I'm Lisa Brady.
I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
With Fox News correspondents around the globe.
At the White House, Simon Owen in London.
On Capitol Hill, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
The news that matters most to you. The top headlines, all in one place. Listen and follow the Fox News Hourly Update at foxnewspodcasts.com or ask your smart speaker to play Fox News.
This is Rob Meyer with Provident Financial Group. Unfortunately, there is not a one-size-fits-all retirement plan. Finding the right plan for you depends on many factors. The good news is that we can help improve your retirement readiness, whatever your situation. Contact us today at 217-366-3456 or online at providentfinancialgroupllc.com.
Securities offered through Raymond James Financial Services, Inc., member FINRA SIPC. Provident Financial Group is not a registered broker-dealer and is independent of Raymond James Financial Services. Investment advisory services offered through Raymond James Financial Service Advisors, Inc.
When sewer or septic trouble hits, visit Berg Sewer and Septic. Family-owned and proudly serving Central Illinois, Berg specializes in sewer repair, septic service, water line repairs, sump pumps, and drainage solutions. They don't upsell. They solve the problem right the first time. From backups to breakdowns, count on Central Illinois' most trusted septic service. Berg Sewer and Septic. Dependable, honest, local. Get a second opinion you can trust. Visit bergtanksinc.com.
All right. Beverly Baker has come into the studio. How are you?
I am great. Good morning.
All right. I just get so excited to learn all the moving and shaking, so I'm playing Shaker Groove thing here for us. A throwback from back in the day. We were probably at the skate rink or whatever when this was playing.
Probably, and I'm at that stage now where putting on roller skates is probably not a good idea.
Oh, no. And actually, your son Grant is friends with my daughter Gabby, and she dates Trey Smith. And we have this kind of circle of these kids that are keeping up and doing all these physically things. Like Trey likes to ice skate.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, maybe not.
Yeah, maybe not.
I'll get you the hot cocoa on the side.
Right, I'll watch you have a good time.
So Bev Baker, moving and shaking, and always like reading incentives, I feel like, as we get into the new year.
We do a lot around early grade level success, reading, literacy supports. I mean, that's really something where our relationships with the school districts across Champaign County have really indicated, teachers can do amazing work with students when the students are there and in the classroom, but they need some help from the community to make sure that kids are coming to school prepared and ready to learn. So we really try to wrap around and support that however we can.
And having books at the home is a big factor.
That's a huge factor.
So you're working with area barbers.
We are taking a little new approach. We have our Dolly Parton Imagination Library, which I think we've been here to talk about, but there's more. There's always more that we can do. And so we're based on a national model. Here locally, we're calling it Books with Barbers, and it's an attempt to, again, reach, in particular, our African American boys and their families, because when we look at our local data, it's not looking real good for our African American boys. And so again, what can we do to help support them, get more books in the home, more time reading independently, reading with adults, developing just the word sounding skills, the context clues, meaning, and really just building their confidence. The more you read, the more comfortable you get with it, and then the more confident you are, the more excited you become about it.
Because you're with the United Way, Bev, I'm sure you've seen some statistics from local schools. Are we doing okay?
We're not. We're not. And again, the schools can do amazing things when the kids come in ready to be there. But we as a community need to wrap around and support to make sure that all of our kids are coming in with the skills that they need and the confidence and excitement to learn. Like I said, the teachers can work miracles in the classroom, but we have to do what we can as a community. And so this is a small way. Barbershops have had a very cultural place in the homes of Black families, and especially for Black men and Black boys. And so as we talked with some friends in the community, they gave us some insight on that. And so we found this national model, and Champaign Rotary and Books from Breck are supporting this. We have two pilots, one at Groom Culture on University in Champaign, and the other one is at Cut Above Barber Academy, also in Champaign over by Schnucks on Mattis.
Okay, so if a barber is listening, they can, reach out to get involved in some way. And are you providing books for the barber shop for them to take home then?
Absolutely. Anyone that wants to learn more can reach out to us at United Way. We're limited on our funds at this point.
Okay.
We hope to be able to expand. We're providing through the Champaign Rotary and the Books from Breck, we're providing books from littles, so the board books for the babies and toddlers, all the way up through young adult literature in the barber shops, bookshelves, chairs, the books, and some support materials for the barbers and for the adults that come in with the kids. So a kid, maybe a sibling or two are coming in for a haircut. They can pick out a book and sit and read while they're waiting. They can jump in the barber chair while they're getting their haircut and read their book. The barbers have been through some training with local literacy coaches here in the community to just help them get comfortable with it. Again, they're not going to be the reading teacher.
That's right.
But they're there to support and encourage, asking questions. Why'd you pick that book? Have you read one by that author before? Hey, that's part of a series. Have you read any of the others? Just what do you think's going to happen next? Or how did that make you feel when you read that section? Just that talking about it. Some of the barbers have chosen to do incentives. You bring a book report back in and get a free haircut.
Okay.
Those sorts of things. So they're all taking their own approach on it, which is lovely. And again, there's multiple barbers in each of these shops, so they all kind of put their own spin on it.
Awesome.
Yeah, and we've got fun capes for the kids and aprons for the barbers, and like I said, materials to help support the barbers and the grown-ups that come with the kids.
You need something from the community. I mean, I brought my dork Diaries or whatever it's called. I know that's kind of more the tween age years, but they need it too.
They do. They need it. Yeah, we're.
Can we donate books? I guess.
You can always donate books at United Way. We have a partnership with the local CU Kiwanis, and they have a storage space in our basement, and they are in partnership with us to do some little free libraries around the community and some laundromats and some public spaces like Housing Authority and MTD, and so we're always looking for places to put little free libraries. And again, their books and those are for the kids all the way through adults.
That's right.
Because we just want books in people's hands and in people's homes.
I'm visiting with Beverly Baker right now, the Chief Impact Officer, but gearing up for April to be the CEO.
That's right. That's my current title. Sue Gray will be retiring at the end of March, and so I will become President and CEO April 1, which I said is a cruel joke. They really could have picked a different day than April 1st, April Fools. People are tired of hearing me say that.
That's true. I never thought of it. But it's great that you kind of are overlapping so you can absorb some of Sue's duties. Of course, I knew her in her Girl Scout days, and her husband's been so involved with the Challenger League and things like that my son Aiden was involved in, and just so many great people with the United Way. Are you looking for more people to join your team?
We do. We actually have 2 openings right now, and information on those can be found on our website. We're looking for a major gift officer and also a director of marketing and communication. So we're a great team, and we've had a lot of long-term stability, but when there's one change, there's often more, and as we grow and look towards the future, we're excited to add some folks to our team, and today's my 19th anniversary.
Oh, so congratulations.
Thank you. Sue and I have had a long tenure together, and I've watched and learned from her, and before her Lynn Jones, and before her Tammy Lemke.
Yes.
I had the honor and pleasure of working with all of them.
Those are terrific people. And just in our last 30 seconds, I know young community leaders can also do some training too.
Absolutely. We have something called Emerging Community Leaders. We abbreviate it and call it ECL, and we'll have a class opening up later this spring. Again, you can find information on our website. It's just an opportunity to come and learn about our community, learn about being part of a committee and a board, learn a little bit about nonprofit operations, and then do some service projects together.
Have a great morning. Thank you for joining me.
Thanks, Diane.
All right.
When you make the right decision, it feels good, like picking the perfect accent rug or choosing a good night's sleep over an all-night crime show binge. It feels really good to make the right insurance decision, too. That's why State Farm agent Kurt Lenschow is right here in Champaign-Urbana to help you select the right protection at the right price. Kurt will make sure you understand your State Farm coverages so you'll know what to expect if the unexpected happens. Just call him when you want the real deal. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Fox News, I'm Therese Crowley. Protesters descending on Minneapolis after Mayor Jacob Frey declared that ICE murdered a protester who gunned her SUV into ICE officers. Homeland Secretary Kristi Noem was asked if the agent used deadly force before or after Renee Good hit him with her SUV.
I know you keep asking that, but that doesn't mean that the FBI is going to give you an answer today. There will be an investigation. We want to make sure that it's factual.
Minnesota Governor Tim Walz.
Minnesotans, I say this. I feel your anger. I'm angry.
Put the Minnesota National Guard on alert with outside groups from No Kings to climate change to communists mobilizing protesters, including to New York City today. Secretary of State Rubio, already overseeing the interim government of Venezuela, plans to sit down with Denmark next week about the U.S. designs on Greenland, saying we'd prefer to settle without military force. America's listening to Fox News.
Here's a look at local news. Illinois Department of Public Health reporting the first child from Illinois to die from influenza. It brings the number of people to die from the virus in the state to 17. Dashboard shows about 8% of emergency room visits across the state flu-related, compared to 6% this time last year, 5% 2 years ago. Man of Fire reflecting on an eventful 2025 by totaling and breaking down the number of incidents responded to. Firefighters responded to 6,679 calls, the highest since 2019. Nearly 60% of those calls were medical related, making up the majority. Names and addresses of thousands of patients of the Illinois Department of Human Services incorrectly made public, viewable for the last several years. Several maps created to assist the agency with decisions like where to open new offices and allocate certain resources were made public through incorrect privacy settings between 2021 and 2025. You're locally up to date from the Stevie J Broadcasting Newsroom. I'm Jim Miller.
And we've got your weather forecast. It's brought to you by Parlor Donuts in the Old Farm Shops and Jet's Pizza with 2 locations in Champaign. They're bringing on the opportunity to win tickets. Like, for instance, this last pair I still have as you text in Illini 217-359-2255 to go to the game tonight. If that sounds interesting at 7:30, go Illini, beat Rutgers.
Logan, everyone, let's check weather for Central Illinois, Champaign-Urbana vicinity. A March-like feel on increasingly gusty south winds at 15 to 25 miles per hour. Record and near record-setting highs in the upper 50s and lower 60s. The record high 62 set back in 1965. Be a bit of rain and drizzle, some areas of fog for this morning, and widespread rains break out southwest and northeast over the course of the mid and late afternoon. Showers, maybe a thunderstorm early on tonight, and maybe even a stronger storm in spots. More activity of rainfall after midnight tonight. Lows near 50. Tomorrow up to 55. Falling temperatures in the afternoon. On a west wind 15 to 25 miles per hour. Gusty, partly sunny skies develop. Maybe a stray shower early and late. Back to much cooler weather tomorrow night, down to 37. Variably cloudy, windy, turning colder still for the day Saturday. Morning highs in the 40s, into the 30s for the afternoon. A couple of showers of both rain and wet snow. Maybe a snow shower Sunday morning. Partly sunny, breezy, colder at about 31. We bump into the low to mid 40s Monday and Tuesday. Fall back into the 30s next Wednesday and Thursday. A couple of snow showers for the second half of next week as well. For CVJ Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Solier.
What is most important in your life? This is Starla Carr with Provident Financial Group. If you're launching a career, raising a family, planning for retirement, or creating a legacy, we can help. At Provident, we provide strategic thinking and perspective that help clients realize their goals. Contact us today at 217-366-3456 or find us online at providentfinancialgroupllc.com.
Securities offered through Raymond James Financial Services, Inc., member FINRA SIPC. Provident Financial Group is not a registered broker-dealer and is independent of Raymond James Financial Services. Investment advisory services offered through Raymond James Financial Service Advisors, Inc.
Former Illini Terrence Shannon Jr. of the Minnesota Timberwolves about Ben Quattrone from Sarah Champaign.
What kind of friend has he been?
Unbelievable. Ever since I came to this dealership, me and Ben had interactions. He's been a great person this whole time. It still is. I always would recommend him to anybody about a car or anything. He's always going to be there for you no matter what. He always be behind you. He's just a great person.
Visit sarahchampagne.com. That's SERRA champagne.com.
Jets Pizza and Stevie J Broadcasting want to send you to the next Fighting Illini home basketball game. Text Illini to 217-359-2255 and you could be on your way to State Farm Center. Stop by Jets Pizza at Neal and Green Street or Round Barn off Springfield and Mattis for their delicious Detroit-style pizza. Text Illini to 217-359-2255 to win tickets from Jets Pizza and Stevie J Broadcasting.
Okay, I've got my theme here. I got to find my theme. Oh, there it is. It's called Smoke. Tim Onstad in studio here.
And now, a brand new show called Smoke, where we help you with your grill and making the best meat ever. With award-winning competition pitmaster Tim Onstad. Smoke in Tim's Grill. He's the best brisket maker ever. Smoke in Tim's Grill. And now award-winning competition pitmaster Tim Onstad.
Yes.
Hey, they'll let anybody in this place.
And the weather's so mild, it's almost nice to take a little trip to our studios in downtown Philo, huh?
Hey, yeah, and it's great weather to get out there and cook.
Yeah. I mean, would you do that?
Oh, yeah. If I have time, we'll cook.
I mean, my husband also gets out the grill. We've grilled some meat this week, but Happy New Year. How are things going?
I thought the boys in the afternoon has said that you couldn't say that after the 7th.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was the cutoff.
Oh, but maybe it is, because that's like the Epiphany or whatever.
Yeah, but
like on the religious calendar.
Oh, we're doing good.
Today's the 8th.
Got a lot going on. It's going to be an exciting year, I think.
Okay, good. Well, I know with Stevie J being on vacation and it's just you and I, you thought maybe a Caribbean barbecue dish might be something to talk about.
Yeah, I'm hoping while Stevie's down there, he gets some good Caribbean jerk chicken.
Ooh.
And that can be made right here in the middle of America. The number one ingredient of that is your Scotch bonnet peppers, and they're hot.
Okay.
You want to start out slow, maybe half of one or one.
Okay.
And wear gloves when you handle it because it will burn your skin.
Right, and you don't want to scratch your eyes or anything
No.
after that.
No, you don't want to touch anything important.
That's right.
But you do that. Put one of those in with allspice, some other spices.
I've
I
never
got a list because I
looked
can't
into
remember them all.
the jerk, the recipe ingredients for a jerk chicken.
Yeah, scallions, thyme, ginger, garlic, brown sugar, cinnamon, nutmeg, soy sauce, and lime juice. And you put that all in a blender and blend it up and get a good liquid out of it, and then marinate that chicken overnight with it.
Ooh.
And pull it out, get your grill hot, use and jerk chicken is important to use either wood or hardwood lump charcoal.
Okay.
That gives it that smoky flavor that you're looking for, and it'll turn dark. But you'll want to cook that until it's really tender. And a lot of people like to pull it. A lot of people like to eat it like pieces of chicken. But it's a spicy, good, full of flavor. I think full of flavor more than spicy. But you'll want to make some lime wedges available. That cuts the heat down a little bit.
Okay.
And adds a little Caribbean atmosphere to
Well,
it.
as you've done some catering stuff, have you ever done anything with this jerk flavoring on?
No, we've done it at home. Not necessarily with the Scotch bonnets, but those are a little hot. But I may get brave and try that again.
Okay.
But I thought this year we might add a little bit of product review every once in a while to the thing, and I got something for Christmas that I'll throw out there. We've been talking about cleaning grills and how we clean them.
Yes.
I got a grill bot, and it's like a Roomba vacuum, only it's for your grill, and it's got 3 scrubbing brushes that are red nylon, and you turn it on and you set it inside your smoker, and it moves around in there for about a half an hour and scrubs your smoker down.
Wow, pretty high tech, Tim Onstadt.
The problem, they're about $100. The problem we've had, and we've had 2 of them now, is we can't get them to charge. So if we get that straightened out with the company, we will definitely try to give a review on it, on how it cleans and how it does.
Now, we've done this before, and Stevie J brought up, I think it was a YouTube clip about someone who was injured, and there was a little piece of wire because of those wire brushes that people do use
throw those
to
out.
clean. Right.
Throw those out.
And you said really aluminum foil will work.
Yep, you can crumple up aluminum foil. But Donna was looking, and she found that and got that for me for Christmas, and I would love for it to work. I'm rooting for it, but until we get with the company and they straighten out the charging issues, I can't give them a good review yet.
Okay, got it. So we're talking with Tim Onstadt with GFT Trucking and Dedicated Diesel. And again, we bring up all the time how Johnny and Stevie's son Benjamin and I came to a tailgate party and we just couldn't leave. It was so good, Tim. You're so talented.
Well, Gail Ferrig's Trucking's Loaded and Rolling Barbecue is an opportunity for us. Thankfully, I'm kind of ADHD. Got a lot of things in the fire, and we do a lot of different things. We're going to Gadsden, Alabama in April, and Sevierville, Tennessee in May. Putting our schedule together, and going to have some good fun cooking. But the people at GFT really make that happen for us.
Okay, awesome. Well, I'm glad that you get some of these competitions in. And when we first started to get to know you, you had brought your big rig out here in downtown Philo, and we all did some sampling. And you just kind of wanted to get up to speed with some of your skills. And we were all marking you a full 10 because it was so good.
Yeah.
I don't know if you learned anything from us.
You're much more easier than the judges on the road are. That's for sure.
But you've gotten some great scores, especially on your brisket, right?
Yeah. And it's funny how it shifts. We moved the end of last year. We really started hitting good on ribs, and I don't know what causes that, but we don't think we do anything different in the process. So
I see. Well, let's talk about the team there at GFT, Gale Frericks Trucking. You mentioned their support of your grilling as the pit master, Tim Onstad, and your assistant and office manager there is your wife, Donna. Just such a great team. And again, you're able to support the drivers and give them the time off and the family time they need.
Well, our drivers are the key to everything we do. And we had a great celebration in December with the drivers and for them, and we cooked for them a little bit, and we had some prizes and giveaways and some awards, and they're just a great group. Right now, well, starting yesterday, we started getting a few new trucks in. We've got brand new 26 Freightliners that are going to reward some of the long-term drivers that have been with us. They'll get to go out in a new truck, and that's going to open up a couple of spots for new drivers to come in, and somebody that wants to make good money, get home time, work their way up through the company. That's a great opportunity for them.
When it comes to hauling goods, people can call you and get a route going and start that. That's something we usually don't talk about much.
No, our capacity generally runs pretty tight, but we've got some things. If somebody needs truckloads hauled, we can definitely talk to them and work something out.
Okay, and that especially gets brisk in the fall when it comes to harvest.
Yeah, we do some grain hauling. One of our farmer customers was in yesterday. Great guy, and sat and talked for a little while. And those guys keep us rolling too, and give us an opportunity to get some younger people in. We can start them out on the farm hauling grain when they're don't have much experience, and somewhere where they're not out all by themselves, and they've got help if they need it, and that's a good place to start.
Love it. And so again, if you're an area farmer looking for some extra support and you're doing some planning here in 2026, keep GFT Trucking in mind. What is the website?
They can get me on email at timo@gftlog.com or call the office at 765-793-7131.
And that's extension 4.
Extension 4 for me, yes.
Wonderful. All right. Well, when it comes to dedicated diesel, we have talked about various mowers and things like that in the past.
Yeah, we've got some Dixie choppers left.
Okay.
They'll be the best deal that you're going to get. Those aren't going to be available for long because we're going to clear them out and maybe go up on auction time or something like that with them. We've got a lot of expanding things happening at Dedicated Diesel, some exciting stuff that we're going to be talking about in the next few weeks. A little shift and change and growth in the business.
Mm-hmm. And if anybody is looking for a new opportunity or a job shift and you want to get to be a part of a great company, we just shared it's TIMO@GFTlog.com, and you can reach out to Tim Onstad and the team at Gale Frericks Trucking and Dedicated Diesel and maybe have a new gig.
Yeah, we have opportunities in the shop, in the office, all kinds of things going on. So.
All right, great. Well, all the best in 2026. I see on the text line that people are going to want some of this jerk chicken recipe. You're making us hungry, says Kathy and Steve. So.
And that's another thing we have to do is get this up on your Stevie J website.
That's right, StevieJay.com. We've talked about maybe having a post of what we're doing with Tim Onstad on Thursdays after 8:30, and maybe posting the recipe. I know that was the case for that macaroni and cheese. I had so many people reaching out for Donna's recipe on that. And as your kind of right arm, she's also great at desserts and all the sides.
Oh, she's very, very, very talented.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, so give her our best, and the whole team at GFT and Dedicated Diesel. I wish you all the best in 2026, Tim. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you, Diane. It's been fun.
ESPN 93.5.
Hi, I'm Tyler Weaver, president of Carpet Weavers Flooring and Furniture Gallery. It's time to come home to Carpet Weavers. We don't want you to just like your new floors. We want you to love them. From waterproof floors and carpet to furnitures and design advice, we've got a team of experts on your side. We'll get you the best price and the best quality products. And complete your home with furniture and accessories. Buy it all with free financing too. Come home to Carpet Weavers, where floors, furniture, and family meet.
Got a plumbing, heating, cooling, electrical, or sewer problem? Look no further than Fred's Plumbing, Heating, Air Conditioning, and Electric. Locally owned and trusted, Fred's team of professionals is ready to tackle projects both big and small. Why waste time and money on complicated DIY fixes? Fred's experienced team will get the job done right, saving you time, stress, and cash. And when it comes to sewer problems, make sure you call Fred's for a second opinion you can trust. At Fred's, they do it all. No project too big, no project too small. They do insulation, repairs, replacement, and maintenance, and they now offer service agreements. For reliable service, professional expertise, and solutions that work, call Fred's Plumbing, Heating, Air Conditioning, and Electric today, 217-586-3863, or go to fredscu.com. You can always trust Fred's.
All right, we have our Illini game tonight. Let me hit some festive Illini music as we get ready for Rutgers. Number 16, Illinois facing Rutgers. Got some comments from Coach Brad Underwood as he stepped up to the mic in a press conference yesterday.
Now it's Rutgers, typical Steve Peichel team. Steve's one of my favorite coaches, got tremendous respect for the job he does. Gritty, fight you, compete. A team that against Ohio State had 18 offensive rebounds. I think they're second in the country in percentage of their points coming off offensive rebounds. I think they're a team that has continued to get better and improve. Obviously coming off a nice win against Oregon. Getting great play from Francis off the bench. Young man that's averaging, upper 20s here in his last 3 or 4 ball games. But they guard you. They're going to throw a lot at you. The presses. They'll play some zone. Play man, and we've got to do a great job. Their guards are very, very efficient and very effective, and most importantly, they do an elite job rebounding the ball. They're very competitive on the glass, and we've got to not allow them second chance points, and area we're trying to continue to get better at ourselves.
All right, I think I'll take a break from Brad's comments. Of course, all this stuff is available online in case you'd like to pursue more of that press conference. But gearing up for a good game tonight at 7:30 tonight. I know Jake was one of our winners that texted in Illini and is winning from Parlor Donuts there in the old farm shops. Those layered donuts are delicious. Had some church ladies that are organizing a bingo night at the Oaks Club on February 7th, and we came together and were discussing things, and it was so wonderful for them to experience some of the what I called the minis or the donut hole style, but they were filled, and the coffee was delicious. One of the ladies got a hot tea. So Parlor Donuts, I highly recommend, and Jet's Pizza with 2 locations always has a great lunch specials with a couple of slices and a drink for right around $10. So, Illinois Rutgers tonight, 7:30 tip-off, and you can take that fan shuttle with Pia's if you'd like to. 1609 West Springfield Avenue leaves a half hour before tip-off. You'll want to get there at least 45 minutes beforehand, though. Sometimes it's a full bus, and leaves 10 minutes after the buzzer. And speaking of Pia's, they've got a big party coming up with the Bears facing the Packers from Soldier Field for the NFC wildcard playoffs on Saturday after 7 Saturday night. So keep in mind that, or if you want to watch tonight with the Fiesta Bowl and the college football playoffs semifinals at 6:30. It's number 6 Ole Miss and number 10 Miami. Of course, the semifinals continue on Friday with number 5 Oregon. And wow, have the Indiana Hoosiers and Kurt Cignetti and his team been impressive as the number 1. So we'll find out who will go on to Monday's game and find out who will win the college football playoff series. So that's going on too. Let's see, we have Northwestern at number 12 Michigan State as another basketball game to take note of tonight. Yesterday, basketball-wise, we had Detroit beating the Bulls 108-93, and NHL action on ice had the Blackhawks over the Blues 7-3. Big Ten action, I didn't hit that. Number 5 Purdue over Washington 81-73, and Indiana beat Maryland 84-66. So go Illini tonight. Shauna Green's team lost to number 19 Ohio State yesterday, 78-69. But with the women being 13-3 overall, they have been impressive. It's ESPN 93.5 here on Thursday, January 8th. Stevie's on vacation, so I've been taking over the shift.
The great loud venues in college basketball.
Don't miss your chance to cheer on Fighting Illini basketball this season.
Back. This place an absolute powder.
It is. Talk about tough buildings, right?
We need all of Illini Nation to help us defend State Farm Center.
Boswell left hand and one.
Great seat locations are still available for you to see Illinois basketball live this season. Get your tickets today at fightingillini.com.
Logan, everyone, let's check weather for Eastern Illinois, Champaign-Urbana vicinity. A March-like feel on increasingly gusty south winds of 15 to 25 miles per hour. Record in here, record-setting highs in the upper 50s and lower 60s. The record high 62, set back in 1965. Be a bit of rain and drizzle, some areas of fog for this morning, and widespread rains break out southwest to northeast over the course of the mid and late afternoon. Showers, maybe a thunderstorm early on tonight, and maybe even a stronger storm in spots. More activity of rainfall after midnight tonight, lows near 50. Tomorrow up to 55. Falling temperatures in the afternoon. On a west wind, 15 to 25 miles per hour. Gusty, partly sunny skies develop. Maybe a stray shower early and late. Back to much cooler weather tomorrow night, down to 37. Variably cloudy, windy, turning colder still for the day Saturday. Morning highs in the 40s, into the 30s for the afternoon. A couple of showers of both rain and wet snow. Maybe a snow shower Sunday morning, partly sunny, breezy, colder at about 31. We bump into the low to mid 40s Monday and Tuesday. Fall back into the 30s next Wednesday and Thursday. A couple of snow showers for the second half of next week as well. For CVJ Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Solier.
You're great, Tim. You're great to have on. We love what you do. You're very talented as a manager taking care of Galfrex and dedicated diesel, but I'm impressed how much energy you have for all that.
We're just honored to be able to wear the GFT logo and do that, and the people at Dedicated Diesel do a great job. Everybody needs to get over there and get those awesome, like new used mowers bought up and get out of there so we have room for some new ones. 217-328-0562, give you a great deal and get those things going.
And where's that located?
But that's at 1313 Triumph Drive in Urbana. We've got a wonderful crew, and at the end of the year here, I just want to thank all of our drivers, customers, and employees. We have the best guy to work for in Gale Fredericks. You all and your families have a Happy New Year, and I'll talk to you next year.
Thank you, Tim. Tim Onstop, Pitmaster Extraordinaire, Gale Fredericks Trucking, and Dedicated Diesel.
Our Stevie J Broadcasting team is welcoming the St. Louis Cardinal Caravan on Friday, January 16th to the Hilton Garden Inn at 1501 South Neal Street in Champaign. Doors open at 11 a.m. for this free fan experience that starts at noon. If you'd like to bring money for the raffles to try and win tickets to a game at Busch Stadium and Cardinals swag, you'll be supporting a local charity in the process. Cardinals broadcasters, alumni, and players will all be introduced. Take questions and sign autographs for kids 16 and under. Your home for the St. Louis Cardinals is ESPN 935.
Champaign Center Partnership has creative ideas as downtown, midtown, and campus town continues to shine with community programming, cultural events, and gear up for a great new year with momentum, strategies, and community behind you. Take note now of the first 3-day weekend of the year in 2026 for Small Business Saturday 2.0 coming January 17th. Be sure to shop local and get ready to jumpstart January. ChampaignCenter.com. Well, it sure has been fun as we get into the new year together. I'm Diane Ducey. I've got a few more shows. Stevie J is back, I think, Tuesday the 13th, and he's traveling on Monday the 12th. I know I've got a break. I'm planning to do a girls' trip down to Pensacola, Florida in February. Lots of great events coming up in my life, especially in February with the Catholic Charities and that Elks location behind Old Orchard in Savoy on February 7th, doing a bingo event to raise some money. And then I've got the daddy-daughter dance at the high school of St. Thomas More. That'll be fun on February 13th. That's a Friday night at the high school of St. Thomas More. That's a blast. And, of course, we've got the Hot Stove League supporting the Illinois baseball team just in a couple of weeks. And that's a great event at the iHotel. I think Fergie Jenkins, is that right, is the keynote speaker. I was hearing about that yesterday, and that should be a blast. Always fun to be a part of these events here at Stevie J Broadcasting. And Melissa has reached out with See You at Home. And their event is always the first Friday in February on the 6th as we support the homeless community and get them on their pathways to progress. CUAtHome.us for details on that. Of course, we're looking forward to the Cardinal Caravan. You heard the announcement in that commercial stop set. That will be on Friday the 16th. And that is a terrific event for the program to start at noon. The doors will open at 11. Friends with the charity of the Champaign County Freedom Celebration planning the 250th anniversary for the 4th of July. And it'll be a great event, and they need some funding. So it's always fun for people to contribute as they want to get in on some of that Cardinal swag that's won. And they do the raffle tickets, 1 for $1 or 6 for $5 or an arm length for 10 or a wingspan for 20 as you support the Champaign County Freedom Celebration at the Cardinal Caravan, which is coming up with, I think, 4 or 5 players. They've got alumni players, and they've got their broadcaster that'll be coming in. I need to take a look and let you know specifically what's happening at the Hilton Garden Inn when that program starts at noon on Friday, January 16th. So it's always the weekend going into the Martin Luther King 3-day weekend. So take note of that. All right, have a great day. You can watch online at Stevie JAY FM on X, and you can always find us when you look us up on Twitter. That was the X thing, and then we got the website also with the podcast after the show at Stevie JAY FM or StevieJAY.com. So I'm Diane Ducey. I've rattled on long enough. We're wrapping up the show here, and we look so forward to the shows tomorrow and some other great guests coming in as we wrap up the week here at ESPN 93.5.
The St. Joseph Ogden FFA auction will be held on Saturday, February 7th. Doors open at 4:30 at the high school. With the dinner and silent auction starting at 5 and live auction starting at 6, no tickets are needed. Everyone in the community is welcome.
Our auction includes a full selection of live and silent auction items, giving everyone plenty of opportunities to participate and support the event. Whether you're looking for tools, gift baskets, local gift certificates, or one-of-a-kind items, you'll find a wide variety of choices that make the evening fun for all ages.
The funds we raise directly support valuable leadership opportunities for our members, including participation in state and national FFA conventions, providing supervised agricultural experience grants, and offering college scholarships.
This auction isn't just an important fundraiser for our chapter. It's also a great chance to come together and enjoy an evening with our community. For more auction details, visit our Facebook page, St. Joseph Ogden FFA. We appreciate your support, and we look forward to seeing you on Saturday, February 7th.
You're listening to WSJK ESPN 93.5 Tuscola, Champaign-Urbana, your home for the St. Louis Cardinals.